The following is an excerpt from an interview with Sally. Her name is withheld in order to protect her identity. This is going to be coming out later on Vice. Okay, this is a Vice investigative report on Andrew Tate.
Sally was approached by Andrew when she was 20. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she is withholding her real name.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
So then when I came out of the bathroom, he was super, super nice. Like, from what I remember, Andrew didn't have any alcohol at all. It was literally just me. That night we cuddled and we ended up having sex and I was really, really drunk. That was my first night. Then it was kind of like every single night I would work. But as soon as he handed me my money, I soon forgot about him hitting me and everything else. And it was just like, wow, I've got all this money now. Like,
dude, I can't tell if like True Delusion is like an Andrew Tate fan or something, or if he's just truly delusional and basically chirps in the chat specifically so that like I recognize him as like a weirdo in the chat. Every time we talk about anything, he has to be like, I have a third worldist perspective, which is why I think Andrew Tate's like sex trafficking ring might be not all, not the way that the way that Vice is presenting it, because Vice is like bad. Yeah, Vice is bad, bro. Like, that doesn't change the reality, especially as like, here, I'll say this much. Okay, Vice is bad. Vice cuts a lot of propaganda that's like inherently right-wing, inherently, you know, pro-American State Department. Okay? This video, in and of itself, does not immediately raise alarm bells for me in particular. Not because I'm like motivated to, out Andrew Tate or whatever. Not because I'm such a woke soy lord who's always like believe women no matter what or anything like that. It's because Andrew Tate himself has routinely talked about how he treated the people that worked, that he sex trafficked, in the ways that they're describing. Okay? That's why. Like, don't listen to the victims. Listen to Andrew Tate. He has said it openly.
he would just pay me a flat fee of £15 an hour, which back then was fantastic. I was making £5 an hour at my 9-to-5 job. But when you look at the money that I was actually bringing in, it just doesn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah, he would withhold their earnings. Is that a surprise to you? No, because he has admitted that. Someone should do a fucking supercut of everything she's saying versus everything Andrew Tate has also said.
Instances where there was physical abuse?
Yeah, so when we moved into the bigger apartment, that's when more girls started coming into the apartment to work for Andrew. And that's when I just witnessed so much, like verbal, physical, not just to me, but the other women involved. And it just got worse over time. Andrew would call us lazy hoes. I saw him smack girls with a belt because she wanted a lion. He used to strangle us as well.
Bro, how are you a 4-month subscriber? Look, we got to address something, dude. Okay? Look, listen to me. You're a 4-month subscriber. You literally said lost all respect for Aiden when he started to fuck with Tate, and him defending him should get him canceled. How the fuck do you go from that to this feels fake as fuck when, once again, you look at a fucking video like this and every single thing that this woman is saying unironically one-to-one corresponds to things that Andrew Tate has said and has defended. This is important to understand. This is a moment for self-reflection. This is a moment to examine the underlying inherent misogynistic takes that you might have. You see a woman crying, you see Vice, and you're like, oh, fuck this. They're just trying to come after Andrew Tate probably. How the fuck do you arrive at that? Okay, for a guy like Andrew Tate. For any other guy, maybe you have a little bit more of this take. It's still kind of misogynistic to immediately look at a crying woman and think like she's lying, okay, without like getting a better assessment of all the facts involved. But the idea that like you would do this for Andrew Tate when Andrew Tate himself has openly bragged about doing all of these things is crazy. You lean towards anything that's negative and favors your opinion. You truly are passionate about outing Andrew Tate. He has never said he punched his employee in the arm for no reason. Okay. I like that he snuck in employee that way, by the way. But there's not only footage of Andrew Tate beating women, okay, like openly beating women, okay. There are plenty of it, which I can't even show you because it's TOS. There are also instances of Andrew Tate talking about beating women who are out of place, who are out of pocket, okay? King, thank you for the 5 Get the subs as well.
There was another time when he came into the bedroom, me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him raping her. And, when he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom, and he said, oh, I don't give a fuck if you call the police, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. That's kind of when I knew, I had to get out of there. I stopped working for Andrew about March, April time, and I went to the police shortly after that. Nothing was done, really. They didn't take me in for questioning, they didn't interview me. The other girl that he had raped, she went to the police, and then that's when they arrested him and took him into custody for like 2 days. When Andrew was arrested, we were taken in for a proper interview, and it kind of just got left. I would send emails asking them to update. I'd hear nothing back.
When we reached out to...
I just want to point something out, by the way. If you guys are thinking like, oh man, that's crazy, cops never do that. Scathing report condemns police in England and Wales for victim blaming in rape cases. Examination exposes failure to track repeat suspects and botched investigations by struggling forces. A damning official examination. No one like made this up. It wasn't like the woke lords that fucking... decided like cops are bad, or it wasn't like a bunch of ACAB motherfuckers, you know what I mean? It was an official examination that looked into how police forces tackle rape, and it exposed persistent failings in the criminal justice system, including a failure to track repeat suspects, explicit victim blaming, and botched investigations. Oh man. Into the first year of Operation Soteria Bluestone, launched by the government after a catastrophic fall in rape prosecutions, also paints a picture of an overworked, traumatized, and inexperienced police force in England and Wales, which are struggling to cope with an increase in rape reports after years of austerity.
Hertfordshire Police about this, they had this to say. We acknowledge that there were some delays to the investigation. This was addressed at the time and apologies were made. The case was only closed in late 2019 after a case file had been sent to the Crown Prosecution Service and they took the decision not to prosecute. All those involved in the investigation were further updated at the time. The Crown Prosecution Service said, in this case we carefully reviewed all the evidence provided by the police regarding each complainant and concluded it did not meet our legal test and there was no realistic prospect of a conviction. We sent a letter to each complainant explaining our decision not to charge.
When he went into Big Brother, that's when they started to take things seriously. He's on TV, we need to get him out. They told me, oh, the producers don't want to release him because he's proving to be entertaining. He was removed because of this ongoing police case. And it kind of just got left at like 2016.
Truth of that, you decide.
We reached out to Banijay UK, the company behind Big Brother, and they said, As soon as we were made aware by Hertfordshire Police on the 8th of June 2016 that Andrew Tate was being investigated by the police, we began a process of extensive consultation with Channel 5 and legal teams, including the lawyers representing Andrew Tate. During this period, and whilst we sought to clarify the details required by Channel 5 on the police investigation, Andrew was closely monitored at all times. He was removed from the house on the 13th of June.
And since then, has anything come of it?
Unfortunately, they turned around and just said, oh, we can't continue this case anymore. It's just insufficient evidence. We're not going to take it to court.
You witnessed the rape occurring. Did that not count as evidence for them?
No. They openly said it's really, really difficult to prove rape. Very difficult.
In the UK, only 1 in 100 reported rapes result in a charge, let alone a conviction.
I think people have this perception that if you tell someone that you've been raped, that person instantly goes to prison. They don't realise that it's so hard to convict someone of rape.
In a statement issued via his lawyer in Romania, Tate denied assault or rape. He said, "They wanted money because I fired them. The police understood after the investigation that I am innocent, and the police found messages from the girls' phones where they were talking between themselves and planning to lie about me." Sally said, "The CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge Tate was because they found voice notes on our phones where we talked about whether we should tell the police that he gave us alcohol. We were talking about it because that is what happened. He used to get us drunk."
You know, you see all these young men talking about how he's such a great guy and he's their idol and stuff, and that's so difficult to see. There are better role models out there. Don't be fooled by all the money and the nice cars and all the women. Working on yourself and becoming a better man and better mindset, yeah, but real men don't lay their hands on women.
Yep. At this stage, I don't think any amount of evidence is going to convince Andrew Tate fanboys that Andrew Tate is in the wrong here, because like part of believing and loving Andrew Tate means that you like the misogynistic things he's saying, and part of that underlying misogyny is the not so subtle implication, the very overt rhetoric that like rape culture is a falsehood and that like women deserve it and you can beat them. So, of course, when you make yourself the face, the international living, breathing face of misogyny, the fanboys that you cultivate that also agree with that are not going to fucking believe you. Are not going to believe the victims, because loving Andrew Tate is all about not believing the victims and thinking that women are liars and whatnot. So that's how it is.